Just smile at that and talk to it.
Yeah, hey guys, it's Jess and Michelle and Robin, and we are here with Michelle from Ekko Title today, and we are going to be talking about title issues and what can and probably will potentially go wrong, and answer your questions. So don't forget to drop your questions in the comments below, and we will make sure we answer them as we go along. And you get entered to win a chance for a free coffee next week from your choice. Yeah, Starbucks or Dunkin'.
Yeah.
We've got gift cards to give away. So the more you guys interact with us, the more you have a chance to win free coffee. So it's awesome.
Yeah, so we'll wait for a couple of minutes to see if anybody's going to pop on and listen to Michelle live. I think that we've gotten her out of her comfort zone. So I know I had to do that same thing, but Michelle is so much worth of knowledge when it comes to title, settlements, trusts, wills, those types of things that are very important to a lot of people. I mean, I think we all get caught up into that where we've got property, a family member dies, and next thing you know, it's like, where's the will? Somebody said, hey, Robin, just go look in a drawer. It's in there somewhere. And I'm like, what drawer? You know, so there's lots of information that we want to make sure that we share out there. Maybe not today, but coming up in the future, and you've got that information that is, you know, right on.
Sure.
Right on cue.
Sure.
So, all right, we got our first person on.
Yeah, good morning.
Good morning.
Michelle, do you want to kind of introduce yourself and just
Sure.
explain who you are?
Yeah, absolutely. So I'm Michelle. My name is Michelle Freemeyers. I'm the owner of Ekko Title. I have 4 partners. And we have 8 different offices. We've been open for business for 10 years.
Yeah.
We're privately owned. We are the owners. So in any Ekko Title office that you go to, you're likely to be doing settlements with the owner of the company.
Yeah.
So we feel like we do a really great job trying to give really good customer service to our agent clients and your clients that are also our clients.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah. So, I mean, there's a lot of times where I've pushed people to you that don't necessarily just use you, but have questions about real estate needs, right?
Sure.
And so you answer those questions, and then in the future, hopefully, you can do business with somebody in their family tree.
Absolutely.
Which is great.
Absolutely. We field a lot of calls. I am constantly taking calls from clients of agents who say they've got questions and they'll just call me. We don't have to have the file to have to answer questions. We're happy to help. We try to be a resource to our real estate community. So absolutely.
And it's not like you're answering questions where you're litigating information.
No.
Like you're not going to court for them. You're just giving them the tools that they need. And then if they need a referral to another real estate attorney, you're happy to move that forward to that. Yeah, so which is a great thing for us to have right close to us.
Yeah.
And we have to have that all the time because not every transaction is the same. We only think that it should be, but it's not.
No, they're not. They're very different. And one of the biggest calls I get is from people that are selling estates.
Yep.
Where agents have referred them to me. I get calls from agents, or I get calls from the people themselves saying, I just want to make sure everything's right. And there are a lot of different varieties and different ways it can be done. And you know, the problem is if you don't do that right, here you are 2 weeks before closing and we have to hold the closing because it's not done right. So it's really important. It doesn't take us much time to look at it and kind of get it straight and tell you how to handle it. And then, you know, you're rock stars to your clients. So that's what we tried really hard to do.
And that's even important. I mean, so going off of that, it looks like we have a couple of people online. So, hey, good morning. We're here with Michelle Freemeyers at Ekko Title. She is the attorney here, the owner. So we thought we'd ask a couple of questions about, and start off a little the information about the problems that you have with title problems.
Sure.
We run into a lot of times where one of your processors will email me, and as soon as they email me, they're calling me, and my heart's going, what's wrong?
It's always bad news when you're hearing
It's
from
always
us.
back to back, and I'm going, okay, this person's in, something's going on, let me just take this call. So then, what are the top things that you're seeing in title problems today when we go to closing and we're getting ready to close a deal?
Sure. So, you know, one of the obligations that the seller has is they have to convey clear title to the buyer. And most sellers think they have clear title. They have no idea that they may not have clear title.
Right.
And part of the settlement process is that a title search is done. And when the title search comes in, lo and behold, about a third of the time there's title problems that need to get remedied. It's much higher than people realize.
Yeah, that's a lot.
And there's some common things that pop up. Prior owner judgments, unreleased deeds of trust, and the title insurance policy is one way that we can easily and quickly resolve the issue.
Right, because that's one of the things that we ask for when we're going after a listing. We ask them for a copy of their title policy. We make a copy of it, give it back to them because that's a safeguard for them. And then if there's any issues that come up, I'm the first one to say, guess what I got?
Yes. Yes.
You know, so that helps remedy the problem.
Go ahead.
I was gonna say, let's touch on that because a lot of people go, when
Yep.
was I supposed to get my policy?
Yeah,
And
correct.
where does it come and where can I find it since I don't have it?
Correct. Well, so that's a good question.
It
So the title policy is something that if you don't have it, you don't have it. It's like you need it. You need to have it and you need to have a copy of it. So let me just give you an example of something that happened in a recent transaction. So we had a title search done. There was a judgment that came up. It was a $15,000 judgment from like 2004. It was from the prior owner. It was a significant issue.
Yes.
It looked like it had probably been paid off. We had some assumptions about that, but we can't let the transaction go forward with a $15,000 judgment.
On just an assumption.
Yeah, on an assumption. That's our job. You know, we get to be the title police and clear it. So it turned out that the title company, because we went back to the title company who handled the transaction 15 years ago, because they should have resolved it.
Right.
They're out of business.
Of course,
Okay.
it's the debacle
Right,
of
right.
the whole 2004.
And it's 15 years, right?
That's
I mean,
right.
it's been a while.
That's right.
The credit card is with, Chase, so we contact Chase. The problem is we don't have the creditor's social security number. We don't have an account number.
Right.
Chase looks all over it. Chase is like, I have no idea what it is. Well, we can't close on that. So the next obvious thing to do is just say to the current owner, our seller, hey, give me your title policy.
Mhm, right.
Right? Well, they don't know where it is.
Sure.
Right? So one of the things we always say is, look, it's going to come to you with the original deed after you buy the house, right? So a lot of times it's in that packet with the original deed. The problem is people don't realize that that's an important thing that they need to put away safe somewhere.
That's right.
So we
Yes.
often have people come in here, I'm like, just bring me all your boxes.
That's right.
And we go through them. But in this one case, this seller was a pack rat, and so she was like, well, I have everything. The problem was it was in Indiana.
Oh.
Her stuff had already been sent. And it took about 2.5 weeks of us trying to find the policy other ways before she finally said, I'm going to have to drive to Indiana. And we said, yes, drive to Indiana.
Wow.
Or pay $15,000.
Or pay
right?
$15,000. The transaction could not close without that being resolved.
Yeah.
So it is critical that your clients have that, know where it is. When your clients are buying property, it's really important that you tell them, when you get this goes with like the birth certificates and social
That's
security
right. Yeah, it
cards.
goes into a safe.
Because, if all
Yeah.
hell breaks loose and that company is no longer in business, you can't if you don't have the policy, you don't have the policy.
Yeah, and which often happens. What I usually do is tell them, okay, let's break it down a little bit. Let's see. Show me the settlement statement,
Correct.
right, of the
Yes.
time that you closed,
Absolutely.
and then that way we're not chasing a ghost. If you have it, you have it. If you don't, you don't.
Right.
That will resolve that problem. But if we have it,
Let's
and
get
it's
our
on
hands on
there,
it. Yeah.
and it says it's from a title company that you're familiar with that insures these titles, then you possibly could stop somebody from having to go to Indiana and call them, right, and then try to get it that way.
So one of the options that we do is if we know who we think insured it, we'll call the other insurers and
Of
say,
course.
can you check in your system? The
Yeah.
problem is not everybody's system is up to date.
Yep.
You've got policies from 15 years ago.
Right.
So it's always one of these things is as soon as they find the policy, we're good. But if you don't find the policy, we are not good and this transaction isn't going forward.
Right, rightfully so, right?
Rightfully so.
As we represent buyers
Rightfully
as well.
so. Rightfully so.
Yeah, so we don't want to turn over property. So
Right.
that's one of the things in the contract that we have to be able to have completed is clear
Absolutely.
title
Absolutely.
and insurable title.
Absolutely.
So in order to have that, you have to have these tiny little ingredients all put together and then shored up.
Right.
And that's what makes your job, I guess, challenging, but rewarding if you can
Absolutely.
get it all done and finished. And that's why when people come up to me, hey, Robin, I've got cash. I can close day after tomorrow. And I stop them dead in their tracks and say, no, you can't.
Right.
And this is the reason why you can't.
Right.
because-
You don't want to buy a house without
Right.
a title problem.
Regardless
you can't
if you're
go
an
forward
investor
with
or
that.
not, if
No,
if whatever the case may be, you might
Absolutely.
look like the prettiest penny in the block.
Absolutely.
But at the end, it might be the one that's on tails that's in the
Absolutely.
parking lot.
Absolutely.
So we want to make sure that that's all cleared up and
And let me just add a piece here
Sure.
about title insurance and why it's important for people to purchase title insurance. So title insurance protects you as the fee simple owner of the property.
right.
And so when we tell people that, they're like, well, okay, but it's only been a one owner, or the house was just
Yes,
built.
we've heard
or,
that.
I don't know why I need title insurance. And title insurance basically is covering for a world of mystery and surprises that none of us know about.
Right.
So let me give you a very very strong example that I was kind of stunned by a little bit. We had a seller sell a piece of property, buyer buys the property, buyer gets title insurance. A couple years later, buyer files a They're going to do some renovation in the house, so they file a permit to get a permit. County inspector comes out. Fine. About a month later, this guy gets served with an arrest warrant for a misdemeanor violation of building code violation.
Oh.
Okay, Spotsylvania County.
Ooh.
This is not old. Okay, this is recent, folks. Okay.
Wow.
So the buyer's like, what? The new owner's like, well, what the heck? I had you come out for my permit. Turns out what they're citing him for is a violation of the prior owner who, when they finished the basement, did not get the basement permitted. And when the buyer bought the property, buyer had no idea. It looked like it was professionally done. They didn't go pull the building permits. They had no idea. But here the county is coming against now our current owner for criminal charges that they have to defend against.
Wow.
Not only criminal charges they have to defend against, but also they've got to fix the issue with the basement. And so depending on how big the basement is, right? So on and on and on and on. So what ended up happening is that owner said, I bought title insurance. They called their realtor because you guys are the first point of contact and said, holy crap.
And we want to be.
And you want to be, absolutely. Yep. And the realtor called the title company. The title company said, well, wait a minute, they bought title insurance.
Right.
Title insurance covers for this kind of thing. That owner got a $25,000 check from their title company because they had to defend the lawsuit and they had to fix the basement.
That's phenomenal.
And had they not had that,
Yeah,
so it covers a wide variety of circumstances.
But you're absolutely right, because I hear it also, besides investors, I'll hear it from a grandchild who's getting property from grandma.
Correct.
Well, grandma had it, she's the one that built the house, everything is good, I don't need title insurance because grandma would have made sure of A, B, and C. And that's, in all best intentions can happen different things that can go on.
We don't know what we don't know.
Yeah,
right?
I mean, we don't want to find out.
No, we don't want to find out. We don't want to find out. Absolutely.
Well, and if you're planning on owning the home for 20, 30 years or whatever, like we just built a home and I just hope to die there.
Right,
but,
sure.
I might take out a home equity line of credit at one point. I mean, there's so many things that protects you against in the future when you do transfer that house to family or to whoever.
Correct. And you bought a new home. You had a home built, right?
Yeah.
So people will say, why do I need it on a new home construction? It's a new home. We're not insuring your house, the sticks, right? We're insuring the land that it's sitting on, that you're the owner.
Right.
That was a large parcel. It was subdivided down. Was that done correctly?
Right.
And people will say, well, wouldn't that be found in title search? Well, hopefully,
maybe.
yes,
Yeah.
but everybody's human, right?
We've ran into that.
People can make mistakes, and we've seen issues where 10 years later we figure out the boundary lines of your subdivision are all screwed up.
Right.
So it's those things. The other thing with new construction is it covers mechanics lien coverage.
Right.
So anybody that did work on your house has 123 days to file a lien against the property after you buy it. So how would you know?
How would you know?
All of a sudden, Mr. Plumber's like, knock.
Right. And sometimes they're valid claims, sometimes they're just mad at the developer and saying they didn't and filing against you, and here you are innocent to anything. You thought everything had been paid.
I'm like, I'm just living here, and all of a sudden,
correct. So those title policies are important, whether it's new construction, used construction, old houses, new houses, raw land. Because the raw land is this,
the
are
scope,
the other issues.
Is the beginning of the scope.
Yeah.
And can they get title insurance after they close?
No, they can't.
Okay. So that's the big question of the hour, because I know that there are going to be a lot of people looking at this video today, and they're going to say, oh, let me just check and see if I got title insurance, and all of a sudden they don't. They're going to call you. We can remedy that right now. No, you can't.
No.
So we need to make sure that that's in place.
No, because the title insurance is purchased from the time of your ownership.
Right.
So you can't, there's going to be a time period where you haven't had coverage.
Right.
So think about like when you have health insurance, for example, right?
Right.
And I know we have the pre-existing conditions, okay?
Right.
Well, if you were sick before and you come to the new insurance company, they may say, hey, I'm not going to cover that because that was something that was before. Pre-existing. Same issue in real estate title insurance. Is that they're not going to want to take the risk. Why would they want to take the risk when you didn't get it to begin with?
Right. And so that's kind of important to have that title insurance policy. It's kind of important to go back and look and see if you have it. And if you do have it, then it's important. What I'm hearing from Michelle is that put it in your safe. Put it somewhere where it's fireproof. I mean, things happen, and we want to make sure, because what happens, Michelle, is that after we close, right? So let's just say seller B moves on to Oklahoma. And let's just say everybody's living a great life and we're doing whatever we're doing, retiring, and there's a title problem a couple of closings back.
Right.
So
and that's the problem.
Then what? What happens then? Do they go, okay, you've got title insurance, seller current, let's back it up.
Right.
Do you have title insurance, right?
Right.
Do you back it up like that?
You back it up. I mean, the first thing that we want to do as title professionals is we want to clear the title.
Right.
So our number one goal always is that if there's a
Right.
title problem, we want to fix it. We don't want to kick the can down the road
Right.
to the next buyer and the next buyer.
Right.
That can happen
We've
because
seen
if
it.
you've had insurance and insurance and insurance, you've got the coverage. And in the example I gave earlier about that $15,000 judgment, we didn't have. We tried to clear it.
Right.
There was no way to clear it. We had to clear it with the policy.
Right.
That was the last, and usually the title policy is the very last
Resort.
safety net. Yeah, it's the
Right.
last resort.
Right.
We don't want to use that. We want to clear the title.
Sure.
You know, I kind of feel like we're the title police, right?
Yeah,
Everybody
yeah.
wants to make sure they own the property, so that
Right.
we're the title police,
Yeah.
and then we're also the enforcers.
Yeah.
Because if I'm not doing a good job and just say, well, that's really going to be hard to do, I'm just going to let this go and not tell anybody.
Right.
The buyer could take that without having any
Right.
idea that there's a title problem.
Right.
So it's also really important to be with a title company that is honest and you feel like is very communicative about
Right.
what's going on.
Right.
Right.
It's a hard thing to call you guys and say, this is a
what's
problem.
going on, right.
We're going to have to delay this closing.
Right.
And I always say to my buyer's agents, listen,
Right.
your buyer does not want to buy a house that has a title problem.
Right.
Okay,
Right.
so that's the bottom line
Right.
here.
Right.
So that's what we really try to focus on, is
Yeah.
getting clear title.
So we do have a couple questions.
Okay.
It says, just spoke with an agent who is selling a home of her own, and there was a complication with the title. Trying to hit see more here. Pam's asking a great question, and Facebook doesn't want to cooperate with me.
Fill in the blank from Pam.
I know, darn. It is not letting me expand this comment. And good morning, Barry. Pam, if you want to actually, it looks like it lets me bring Pam on camera. That's pretty scary.
Ooh.
So I'm gonna scan up to another question, which was, if I buy a house with cash, oh boy, do I still have a title search?
Absolutely.
Yeah,
And that goes
right.
back to
It
what
goes
you're
back to the
talking about.
investor, right?
Your investors
Yeah.
or your cash purchasers or even people buying properties at the courthouse steps on foreclosure, they want to do a title search before and make sure that they've got full coverage. For our investors, almost, I would say 90% of the people that I work with as investors purchase title insurance every single time.
Yeah.
The large majority do, because they do this enough that they know, and some of them have been burned. And
Yeah.
once you're burned, you're done.
And that's so important to know, because we just picked up another investor who's flipping homes.
Yep.
He's young. He's
Excited,
energetic.
yeah.
He's just all over it. He bought a piece of property for very cheap, and the very first thing I said, well, hold up, let's put the brakes on.
Yeah.
Where do you have title insurance? Are you
Right.
buying title insurance?
Right.
Because I'm not involved in this transaction,
Correct.
but I will be.
Right, you're going to help them at the outside.
At that point, I will
Right.
be. So I don't want to inherit
That's
a
right.
problem that's going to
That's
be
right.
a future big deal.
And the title insurance, is one of the more expensive items on the settlement statement. And
Yeah.
so for a lot of our investors who are really, those are very tight margins in there. They, some of them are like, no, I'll take the risk. But
Yeah.
when a third of our files have title problems,
Right.
it's not a good risk.
Yeah. Yeah.
People don't understand it's a third of our files. I can go in the back, it's a third of the files.
Wow.
Consistently
Yeah,
over
and,
20 years.
And I think if you look back at your settlement statement, you're going to see a word that says title insurance.
Absolutely,
Right?
yes.
But the mortgage company
Yes.
forces you to
buy
get
policy for them. Yes.
So don't think that that's a policy that covers you, because
Correct.
it's not. It's
Correct.
a policy that covers the lender. If in case something happens, they're covered, because they have to be, because they
Correct.
own the house technically. But you're left out in the dark
Right.
if you don't have title insurance.
right. That's right.
So you're still having to be obligated. If the mortgage company has to pay something, you're going to be paying the mortgage company.
Right.
Or if the title has to be dealt with, you're having to
Yeah.
deal with it.
That mortgage policy for the lender only covers the lender. People are like, well, if I'm getting a loan
Right.
for $300,000 and the sale price is $300,000, isn't the lender's coverage for me? No. The
Right.
lender's coverage is for the lender.
Yeah.
It doesn't do you any good.
Right.
Yes.
So, and the lenders require the buyers to buy title insurance for them,
Right.
because why? Because they will not take the risk.
Absolutely.
Right?
They only have the little pin on the wall that says,
Yes.
this is where we are.
Yes.
We own this house, but they're occupying and paying the mortgage. When they pay it off, it's all theirs. But
That's right.
I guess just to wrap it up and just to make
getting
sure.
out. You must have a 9 o'clock closing.
Okay, that's fine.
I do.
And just to wrap
Should
it
I
all
use
up,
business?
for title insurance, it's important. Go back and look at your documents.
Yeah.
Go find your deed. Your deed probably has something that's close with the title policy. Find the title insurance policy. If you're unsure, give us a call. Shout out to Michelle. We'll give you the number to Michelle. We can answer some of those questions. We can't answer legal questions, but we can force it back over this way, and rightfully so. I'll do that in a minute.
And Pam, we'll circle back around. We'll figure out what your full question is and answer it in the comments.
Because
so that
she's
we can
like the
address it.
best. So this person has a lot of knowledge. So we're going to be back with Michelle one day coming up soon, and we'll talk more about trust, wills, and those types of things, because those things are important.
Yep.
And not everybody knows the information, right? Our parents don't even have wills on some occasion.
Yeah.
So we have to be able to filter through all that.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
All right, y'all.
Awesome.
Drop your
Thanks for
comments,
joining
okay?
us.
So we can give
Bye.
away some stuff, and then we'll see you soon, all right?
Bye.